Today's headlines. Tropical Depression Urduha leaves 27 dead and 24 missing in Biliran Province. President Duterte plans to have CNN hero Efren Peña Florida as chair of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor. The Bureau of Internal Revenue files tax evasion charges against 4 delinquent companies. And a church in Tacloban City makes time during their simbang gabi to give to the less fortunate. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Tropical storm Urduha caused massive damage in Biliran Province, leaving 27 people dead, 24 missing, and major infrastructure destroyed in its onslaught. Here is our report.
Tropical storm Urduha killed at least 27 people and 24 were reported missing due to landslides and flooding in several areas in Biliran Province. 16 of the fatalities are from Caibiran, a municipality surrounded with rivers. A number of people were reported killed after landslide debris buried 9 houses in Camibihan village Saturday night. The local government unit will no longer allow about 30 families to return to their old homes. Affected residents will temporarily stay in an evacuation center in Camibihan village while waiting for the transfer to permanent shelter. In Almeria town, 4 were killed when massive landslide buried houses in Ayusan village. In Naval town, 6 people died in a landslide with 21 still missing in Locsoon village. The town of Biliran also reported 1 death, 3 missing persons, and 8 injured due to widespread flooding. Meanwhile, the national highway from Biliran town to the provincial capital of Naval was rendered impassable after the collapse of Karay-Karay Bridge. The typhoon also destroyed 2 elementary schools in Naval town. The Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, estimated the infrastructure damage at 200 million pesos in Biliran after Urduha's powerful winds and heavy rains ravaged the province. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
More than 16,000 passengers were stranded in ports across the country on Sunday in the wake of the onslaught of Tropical Depression Urduha. In its latest advisory, the Philippine Coast Guard said the passengers were stranded after sea vehicles suspended their trips. Affected areas include Metro Manila, Eastern and Southern Visayas, Bicol, and Southern Tagalog. State Weather Bureau Pagasa said that Urduha slightly weakened after crossing Samar provinces and was last seen approaching the Cuyo Islands in Palawan. Sea travel is still discouraged. The Department of Finance assures that the ratified tax reform package will benefit workers, particularly with the reduction of income taxes and provision of other benefits. Here's our report.
Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III said all working Filipinos will benefit from the approval of the first tax reform package and its recent ratification. Dominguez said last week's ratification by the Bicameral Conference Committee of the proposed measure is an important milestone in history as a tax reform was done without any pressure from outside forces. He announced that it is the first of 5 packages that will start fixing the structural problems of the tax system that has become unfair, complex, and inefficient. The finance chief said the first package of tax reform aims to address the inequality of the current tax system as it will reduce income taxes for 99% of taxpayers. Under the ratified bill, the first 250,000 pesos income of all working Filipinos will now be tax-free. Filipinos who belong to the 50% bracket of the society will be given targeted cash transfer to help them cope with higher prices of goods as a result of the hike on consumption taxes of the rich. Dominguez said the first tax reform package will also raise revenues to be used to fund the Duterte administration's infrastructure program amounting to at least 8 trillion pesos until 2022. Imposition of rice tariff will also help increase revenues without any spike on inflation. He added that the reforms will result in more and better jobs, lower prices, and brighter future for Filipinos. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Crismundo.
New Court of Appeals Presiding Justice Romeo Barza ordered the reshuffle and movement of the justices in their division assignments. Barza will now be the chairman of the CA First Division and will be joined by Justices Mario Lopez as senior member and Victoria Isabel Paredes as junior member. The 16 other CA divisions will also have their new chairpersons. The Visayas CA stationed in Cebu City shall be headed by Executive Justice Gabriel Ingles, while the Mindanao CA in Cagayan de Oro will be headed by Executive Justice Romulo Borja. Barza was appointed by President Rodrigo Duterte early this month, and 5 months after presiding Justice Andres Reyes Jr. was appointed to the Supreme Court in July. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo appointed Barza to the Appellate Court in 2006. President Rodrigo Duterte is considering Efren Peña Florida Jr. as the next chairman of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the president intends to appoint somebody who hails from the poor and marginalized sector to the PCUP. Roque said the chief executive wants someone who can contribute in solving the problems of the poor and activate pro-poor programs. Peña Florida was hailed CNN Hero of the Year in 2009 for his work in Cariton Classroom, a project that aims to make school accessible to Filipino street children through pushcarts as mobile classrooms. Duterte's decision to appoint Peña Florida came after he ordered the firing of all commissioners of the Urban Poor Commission over junkets and their supposed failure to hold meetings. The Presidential Communications Operations Office and the Ministry of Information of the Kingdom of Cambodia signed a memorandum of cooperation aimed at fostering greater media collaboration. The agreement was inked by PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar and Cambodian Minister of Information Q Kanharit. The accord was the two countries' first bilateral professional relationship in information sharing. Both parties agreed to collaborate in information exchange and share multimedia materials, which may include news and information, radio and television programs that will cover the political, economic, social, and cultural aspects of life in both countries. The memorandum also seeks an exchange of interpersonal skills that include public relations experts, administrative managers, writers, radio and television broadcasters, and print journalists. The two government information arms will also hold joint ventures and joint production trainings, workshops, and seminars. Still to come, the Bureau of Internal Revenue files tax evasion charges against 4 delinquent companies. The Philippine Navy's Naval Construction Brigade joins rehabilitation efforts in Marawi City. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ito ang Duterte on Duty, ulat sa ginagawa ng Presidente. December 7, Huwebes, ASEAN Convention Center, Pampanga. Nakisaya si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte sa Kapampangan Food Festival 2017. Siniguro niyang nananatiling ligtas ang bansa para sa mga turista.
Let me reiterate that the Philippines remains as a place for visitors and continues to be a conducive investment destination. Rest assured that we are undertaking measures to encourage travelers to come here so they can have more fun and exciting experience in the country.
Pinamaskuhan ni Pangulong Duterte ang nasa 200 OFW na nagbabalik bansa. Nagalok din ng Pangulo ng assistance sa paghanap nila ng trabaho o pagtatayo ng sariling negosyo sa ating bansa. December 8, Biyernes, Malolos City, Bulacan. Nagtungo ang Pangulo sa 84th anniversary celebration ng Department of Labor and Employment at nangako ng komportableng buhay para sa bawat Pilipino.
I could never promise you to be very happy. But what I can assure you during my term, biglang lang ninyo, kunting panahon lang naman yan, is I want everybody, every Filipino, comfortable in his country. Yan lang po.
December 12, Martes, Rizal Hall, Malacanang. Ipinadama ng Pangulo ang pagiging mapag-alagang ama sa conferment ceremony ng 2016 Presidential Award for Child-Friendly Municipalities and Cities.
I will always do everything to protect the next generation.
Saksi ang Pangulo sa pirmahan at pag-turnover sa 7 milyong donasyon ng Leong TechGo Family Association para sa rehabilitasyon ng mga paaralan sa Marawi. Kinagabihan ay naki-Christmas party ang Pangulo sa Malacanang Press Corps, Malacanang Cameraman Association at Malacanang Photojournalist Association. December 13, Miyerkules, Fort Bonifacio, Taguig. Winasak pa mga nakumpiskang armas sa mga teroristang maute sa Marawi bago pa magamit muli ang mga ito sa pagwasak ng buhay. Ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
The Philippine Stock Exchange hopes to close the deal to merge with the fixed income trading platform operator Philippine Dealing Systems Holdings Corporation. PSE President Ramon Monzon said the Philippine Competition Commission has cleared the unification deal and is expecting the merger to happen before the end of the year. Monzon is optimistic the PSE will be able to comply with a 20% limit on ownership of an exchange with its conduct of stock rights offer. He said the merger will actually achieve less than 20% of stockbroker ownership with the 11.5 million stock order. Monzon further said the PSE filed a listing application of the shares and registration statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The PSE earlier said the issuance was part of the company's compliance plan to align the shareholder ownership with a limit set by the SEC. The PSE-PDS merger is seen to enhance the liquidity in the financial markets. The Bureau of Internal Revenue has filed tax evasion charges against 4 companies which failed to pay about 52 million pesos worth of taxes. Here is our report.
As part of the Duterte administration's campaign to go after tax evaders, the Bureau of Internal Revenue filed separate tax evasion complaints before the Department of Justice against 4 delinquent companies for alleged failure to pay taxes amounting to 52 million pesos. The respondents include their respective presidents and corporate officers. In a statement, the BIR said the 4 firms willfully failed to pay taxes under the National Revenue Code of 1997. ERA General had the largest tax deficiency amounting to 28.66 million pesos for the taxable year 2010, followed by Amber Base, which is being sued for the tax deficiency for the taxable year 2008. Worklinks and Abatec also faced complaints for their failure to settle tax deficiencies in 2008. The BIR said the 4 companies were repeatedly served notices for the payment of their respective tax deficiencies. However, the BIR lamented that the 4 delinquent firms either failed to pay or refute the deficiencies. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Philippine Cervantes.
3 military camps in Compostela Valley and Davao Oriental joined this year's awardees of Gulayan Achievers by the Department of Agriculture. The 71st Infantry Battalion and the 25th Infantry Battalion in Moncayo, as well as the 28th Infantry Battalion in Mati City, Davao Oriental, were this year's big winners in Gulayan sa Campo category. DA-11 Director Ricardo Oñate Jr. lauded the Armed Forces of the Philippines for their commitment to support the advocacy to provide available and affordable food. Meanwhile, San Roque Elementary School in Davao City topped the best school garden implementers in the Gulayan sa Paaralan program. Other top winners are the New Bantayan Elementary School in Asuncion, Andili National High School, and Manat National High School. The DA is thankful for the strong support of the Department of Education to the program. Filipina Samblingo, San Roque District Supervisor, lauded the efforts of DA in helping the DepEd to combat malnutrition among school children. Troops from the Philippine Navy's Naval Construction Brigade, or Seabees, joined the rehabilitation and reconstruction efforts in war-torn Marawi City. Navy spokesperson Captain Lued Lincuna said at least 50 Seabees specializing in heavy equipment were deployed to Marawi as early as September 9. He said they are conducting clearing and cleaning operations and repair of essential buildings and infrastructures. Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Ray Leonardo Guerrero earlier said military engineering units are at the forefront of the clearing operation in Marawi City. Engineering units have recovered 77 assorted firearms believed to be owned by members of the Maute terrorist group. 11 cadavers were also found, which are undergoing DNA testing and swabbing for identification purposes. The AFP is also tasked to maintain security in Marawi and clear the area of cadavers and unexploded ordnance left by ISIS-inspired groups. A team of Environment, Maritime, and Coast Guard authorities rescued a 15-foot whale in Honda Bay in Palawan. The large whale was trapped on the sandy beach of Luli Island in Barangay Santa Lourdes. Vivian Obligar Soriano from the Community Environment and Natural Resources Office said the rescuers safely herded the whale back to a deeper part of the waters of the bay. The shallow area on Luli Island was cordoned off to keep away people from the place during the rescue. They also spotted wounds on the tail of the whale, but they were not serious and that it was strong enough to swim away. They are now clarifying the species of the whale to the Marine Wildlife Watch of the Philippines for monitoring. The latest stranding was the fifth recorded in Palawan this year. The first one was a 7-footer pygmy sperm whale that was stranded in the municipality of Rojas in April. The Police Regional Office 11 has stepped up monitoring against firecrackers and indiscriminate use of firearms in Davao Region, with close to 3,000 police personnel deployed for Yuletide season. As of Sunday, Davao Region has 0 incidents of illegal possession, use, and sale of firecrackers and other firecracker-related cases, stray bullets, and indiscriminate firing. PRO 11 spokesperson Chief Inspector Andrea de la Serna said all police units remain on full alert status. PRO 11 Director Chief Superintendent Manuel Gerlan said more police officers are out securing churches, malls, ports, terminals, and other places of convergence. He said the police are also working hand-in-hand with other government agencies to minimize or stop firecracker-related incidents. Gerlan further asked the public to report any suspicious items, vehicles, personalities, and activities to the nearest police station or security officers. Up next, President Duterte vows to protect the rights of the LGBT community. A church in Tacloban City makes time during their Simbang Gabi to give to the less fortunate. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns. President Rodrigo Duterte assured that the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community would not suffer from discrimination, oppression, and bigotry under his administration. Duterte gave his assurance as he graced the 7th LGBT Davao's year-end gathering. The president said he is willing to accept members of the LGBT community to become part of his administration as long as they are qualified. He encouraged the group to nominate a representative who will serve as one of the commissioners of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor. Duterte also renewed his commitment to the LGBT community that he would try to solve the major problems in the country, such as corruption and illegal drugs during his term. He vowed to take a strong stand against people engaged in human trafficking and slavery. PBA Commissioner Chito Narvasa has filed his resignation ahead of the new PBA season. PBA Board Chairman Ricky Vargas said Narvasa submitted his resignation effective Sunday. Vargas, however, said the PBA Board will retain Narvasa until the end of the year to help them in a transition period. He added that they have reached out to Narvasa to make amends and clarifications. PBA Media Bureau Chief Willie Marshall was appointed to OIC until the league finds a new commissioner. Narvasa's tenure as commissioner has met with controversies, the latest of which was the approval of the controversial Kia San Miguel trade involving first draft pick Chris Standhardinger. The swap drove a majority bloc consisting of 7 board governors to withdraw its support to Narvasa. The board members of the other 5 teams, however, sided with Narvasa, leading to an impasse that was resolved with his resignation. About 10,000 athletes from 45 countries are expected to participate in the 18th Asian Games in Indonesia next year. The tournament will be held from August 18 to September 2 in Jakarta and Palembang, capital city of South Sumatra Province. The athletes will compete in 40 sports, 67 disciplines, and 462 events. There will also be 62 competition venues. 200 delegates from 44 national Olympic committees attended the seminar. Conducted by the Indonesian Asian Games Organizing Committee, or INASGOC, at the Hotel Mulia Senayan in Jakarta last December 13. The entry deadlines are scheduled on January 31, 2018 by sport, April 30 by number, and June 30 by name. The online accreditation system will close on April. Meanwhile, 2 athletes' villages will be opened in Kemayan, Jakarta, and Jakabaring Sports City in Palembang. The INASGOC has booked 5,000 rooms near competition venues for athletes, officials, and media. A church in Tacloban City has given a twist to the usual Simbang Gabi celebrations. The Dawn Mass will also become a venue to give to the less fortunate. Here is our report.
Christmas and the holiday season is the time of gift giving. In observance of such a cherished tradition, a Catholic parish in Tacloban City will not just hold the 9-day Simbang Gabi, but will also give gifts to less fortunate parishioners. Since November, the Our Lady of Miraculous Medal Parish, based in the city's Marasbaras district, has been collecting donations from generous families for the gift-giving activity on December 24, the last day of the Simbang Gabi Masses. Marites Ronda, a lector and focal person of the program, said the parish has mobilized church workers, youth groups, and other volunteers to take part in giving away of the presents. The youth group has been doing their rounds of serenading with Christmas carols, the houses in their parish, to raise funds. Toys and learning materials are waiting for the kids to bring them home, while for adults, the gifts will be utensils and other household tools important for daily use. The Philippine Red Cross and the city government wholeheartedly support the gift-giving activity by also giving donations. Ronda said that the 8-year tradition is their way of expressing the true meaning of Christmas, giving and sharing blessings. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Chris Crismundo.
Tropical Depression Urduha has maintained its strength as it moves towards northern Palawan. Pag-asa said Urduha was last seen east-northeast of Puerto Princesa City. It is expected to make landfall in northern Palawan before moving out of the Philippine area of responsibility by Wednesday. Scattered rains will continue over northern Palawan, including Calamian group of islands. Residents must undertake appropriate measures against flooding and landslides. Meanwhile, another tropical depression was spotted east of Mindanao outside the Philippine area of responsibility, with maximum sustained winds of 40 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 50 kilometers per hour. Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country.
President Rodrigo Duterte is in Biliran Island Province with members of the cabinet to survey the damage caused by Tropical Depression Orduha. The president ordered the cabinet secretaries to assemble in Biliran, where they will discuss measures to mitigate the effects of the typhoon. He is also expected to work hands-on in rehabilitation efforts for residents affected by Orduha. Biliran has been placed under a state of calamity. The Eastern Visayas region has earned the wrath of Orduha over the weekend, with 32 confirmed dead, 29 missing, and millions of pesos worth of estimated damage. Aside from Biliran, President Duterte plans to assess the damage in Ormoc, Leyte, Palawan, and other affected areas. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Here's another look at today's headlines. Tropical Depression Orduha leaves 27 dead and 24 missing in Biliran Province. President Duterte plans to have CNN hero Efren Peña Florida as chair of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor. The Bureau of Internal Revenue files tax evasion charges against 4 delinquent companies. And a church in Tacloban City makes time during their simbang gabi to give to the less fortunate. The holidays are coming soon. It's 7 days before Christmas. For more stories, please log on to www.pna.gov.ph or visit the PNA page on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.